Welcome to Body Labs Unlocked, where we don't just follow trends, we question them. Now, today's topic, it's one of those ideas that's been circulating quietly online, that your blood type changes how the sun affects your body. Sounds intriguing, maybe even believable, but is it real science or just a well-packaged myth? Because here's the truth, if this were fully proven, it would change how we approach skincare, vitamin D, even disease prevention. So let's break it down properly. And by the end of this video, you're going to understand not just what's true, but what's missing. Hit like if you're ready for real evidence-based breakdowns, and let's get into it. First, foundation. Blood types A, B, AB, and O are defined by the ABO system, discovered by Carl Landsteiner in 1901. What most people don't realize is that these blood group antigens aren't just floating in your bloodstream, they're also expressed on the surface of many cells, like your skin. That matters, because your skin is your first line of defense against sunlight. Now, let's talk sunlight. Sunlight contains ultraviolet radiation, mainly UVA and UVB. UVB is what triggers vitamin D production in your skin. UVA penetrates deeper, contributing to aging and oxidative stress. When UV hits your skin, it doesn't just tan you, it creates DNA damage, triggers immune responses, and activates repair mechanisms. And here's where things start to connect. Let's go blood type by blood type, using what research actually suggests. Type O. Type O is considered the oldest blood group evolutionarily. Some studies suggest type O individuals have lower baseline levels of von Willebrand factor and factor VIII, both involved in blood clotting. Why does that matter? Because UV exposure can cause microdamage to blood vessels in your skin. A 2010 study in the Journal of Investigative Dermatology showed that UV radiation affects vascular responses in the skin, including dilation and inflammation. So, hypothetically, type O individuals may experience slightly different microvascular responses under UV stress, not necessarily better or worse, but different. There's also research suggesting type O individuals may have stronger innate immune responses in certain contexts, so when UV suppresses parts of your immune system, which it does, your baseline immune profile could influence how your skin recovers. Again, subtle, not dramatic. Type A. Now this is where things get more interesting. Type A individuals have been associated in multiple studies with higher levels of cortisol under stress and increased inflammatory responses. A study published in Brain, Behavior, and Immunity linked stress responses to immune variation, and blood type has been explored as one of those variables. Now combine that with UV exposure. UV radiation itself is a stressor. It increases oxidative stress and can trigger inflammatory cytokines in the skin. So, if you already have a tendency toward higher inflammation, you may be more prone to redness, irritation, or sensitivity after sun exposure. There's also some evidence that type A individuals may have a more reactive skin barrier, though this is still being explored. So while your skin doesn't know your blood type directly, your immune system does, and your skin listens to your immune system. Type B. Now, B is often described in research as more immunologically balanced. Some epidemiological studies suggest type B individuals may have different susceptibility patterns to infections, indicating a flexible immune response. So, what happens under UV exposure? UV radiation temporarily suppresses immune function in the skin. This is actually why sunlight can help certain skin conditions, like psoriasis. If your immune system is more adaptable, you may tolerate these fluctuations better. But here's the hidden risk. Because you may not feel strong irritation or immediate damage, you could underestimate cumulative UV exposure, and long-term UV exposure is what leads to photoaging and increased skin cancer risk. So, type B may feel resilient, but still needs protection. Type AB, the rarest and most complex. Type AB expresses both A and B antigens, which means it can show combined immune characteristics. Some studies have linked AB blood type to unique inflammatory profiles, sometimes higher in certain markers, sometimes lower. It's less predictable. So, under UV exposure, responses may be less consistent. Some days your skin handles it well. Other days, more sensitivity, more fatigue, more immune fluctuation. This variability is actually supported by research showing that AB individuals often fall in between A and B in physiological responses, but not always evenly. So the key here is variability. Your body may not follow a fixed pattern. Now, let's zoom out because this is critical. There is currently no major dermatological or medical guideline that uses blood type to determine sun exposure recommendations. None. Organizations like the World Health Organization and dermatology associations focus on skin type, UV index, geographic location, and exposure time. Why? Because melanin is still the dominant factor in how your skin responds to sunlight. This is backed by decades of research in dermatology. But here's where the conversation gets more advanced and more honest. Blood type doesn't directly control how your skin absorbs UV, but it may influence inflammatory response, immune signaling, microvascular behavior, and recovery from cellular stress. So it's not about how the sun hits you, it's about how your body reacts after. And that's the difference most people miss. Now let's bring in evolution for a second. Human populations adapted to sunlight over thousands of years. Skin pigmentation evolved based on UV exposure, but blood type distributions also shifted based on disease pressures like malaria, bacterial infections, and diet. So while both traits evolved under environmental pressure, they didn't evolve for the same purpose, which is why their connection is indirect, not direct. So here's your real takeaway. If you want to understand how the sun affects you, start with what's proven, your skin type, your environment, your exposure habits. Then layer in your internal biology. Pay attention to how your body recovers. Do you stay red longer? Do you feel drained after sun exposure? Do you notice inflammation or breakouts? That's your data, not just your blood type. If you're still watching, you're not here for surface-level content, so drop real science in the comments. I want to know who's thinking deeper about their body. And if you want more breakdowns like this, where we challenge viral health claims and actually investigate them, make sure you subscribe to Body Labs Unlocked. Like the video, share it with friends and fellow science enthusiasts, and I'll see you in the next one, where we unlock another layer of the human body.